Hello everyone, welcome to Listen Delete a lecture series. Today we shall discuss the topic exception to consideration. The general rule is that there cannot be a contract without consideration, but there are exceptions to it. Similarly, if you read section 25 of the Indian Contract Act, it says an agreement made without consideration is void. Unless implies exceptions to this general rule. First, it is expressed in writing and registered under the law for the time being in force for the registration of documents and is made on account of natural love and affection between parties standing in a near relation to each other. The section 25 subsection 1 is based on account of natural love and affection. For this there are 4 essentials. First, there is a promise in writing. Second, it is duly registered as per provisions of registration law. Third, promise is made on account of natural love and affection. And fourth, parties stand in near relationship. Then promise is a contract. Agreement is not void, though there is no consideration from the promisor. Near relations have not been explained in this section. However, the established rule is that the relationships should arise by marriage or by blood. For the same, you can see the illustration B to section 25. It says, A for natural love and affection promises to give his son B ₹1,000. A puts his promise to B into writing and registers it. This is a contract. One thing must be there is that promisor made the promise on account of natural love and affection. It can be explained in the case of Rajlakshmi Dabe versus Bhutnath Mukherjee. In this case, a husband promised his wife to provide a house for separate living, wherein the circumstances showed that they used to quarrel. This quarrel or the fights between them showed that the promise was not made on account of natural love and affection. So even though their relationship arose by marriage, there was no natural love and affection. Therefore, it was held that section 25 subsection 1 shall not apply and the wife cannot get the benefit of it because the promise was not made on account of natural love and affection. Then section 25 subsection 2. It is a promise to compensate wholly or in part a person who has already voluntarily done something for the promisor or something which the promisor was legally compellable to do. So essentials for this is, first, there must be a promise. Second, the promise must compensate that person who has voluntarily done something. Third, this voluntarily done act should be for the promisor. So as per the illustration of section 25, if you see, A found B's purse and gave it to him. Then later on B promises to give A ₹50. Now this is a contract. Now B promises to give A ₹50. This is a contract though there is no consideration. Now in this case, there may be 2 situations. First, B lost his purse. He requested A to search it and promised to pay him ₹250. In this case, this is a past consideration by A. The promisee at the desire of the promisor B. So this is a contract with consideration and is enforceable by the general provisions of section 2 subsection D. Then second situation. B lost his purse. He made no request to A to search the purse. A searched it voluntarily. He gave it to B. Later on, B made a promise to pay rupees 50 to A. In this case, the past search was done but voluntarily. It is no consideration, but promise to compensate A is enforceable by law by virtue of section 25 subsection 2. So now the question arises whether the provision is enforceable because of past consideration or because it was a statutory exception. Now there is no doubt that it is enforceable because of statutory exception and not because of past consideration, as it was voluntarily rendered. So this implies the fourth essential of section 25 subsection 2, that services rendered in past must be voluntarily done. Then fifth, the purpose of the promise must be to compensate wholly or in part. Now, compensation has to be distinguished from reward. This can be explained with an example. So for example, A's house is destroyed in fire. A is out of station. B is his neighbor. Without the request of A, B attempts to extinguish the fire and spends rupees 5,000. Later, A promises B to pay rupees 10,000 to compensate for B's voluntarily service. So now the question arises, is this promise to pay rupees 10,000 enforceable? So as section 25 subsection 2 clearly provides that purpose of the promise must be to compensate wholly or in part, and compensation have to be distinguished from reward, this means that as compensation never includes profit, then the interpretation is that B is totally compensated by rupees 5,000. Therefore, this promise is enforceable up to only 5,000 rupees and not up to 10,000 rupees. That is, B can be paid only up to rupees 5,000 and not more than that, because this is not a reward, this is only a compensation for his voluntary service. So up to means either till 5,000 rupees or less than 5,000 rupees, but in no case more than 5,000 rupees. Now comes the section 25 subsection 3. It says, it is a promise made in writing and signed by the person to be charged therewith, or by his agent generally or specially authorized in that behalf, to pay wholly or in part a debt of which the creditor might have enforced payment but for the law for the limitation of the suits. So the conditions for the same is, the promise must refer to a debt which the creditor might have enforced but could not due to expiry of period of limitation. Second, there must be a distinct promise to pay wholly or in part such debt. Such a promise constitutes novation and hence can form a basis of suit independently of the original debt. Third, the promise must be in writing and signed by him or by his duly appointed agent. The rationale behind the provision of section 25 subsection 3 is that the debt is not extinguished. Only the remedy gets barred by the passage of time. And this provision does not go against the Limitation Act and has been specifically saved by section 29 subsection 1 of the Limitation Act. Another exceptions to consideration can be gifts. A gift is a transfer of property without consideration and is valid under section 122 of Transfer of Property Act. Then another exception is agency. No consideration is necessary to create an agency. Example, If A proposes to B to act as his agent and B replies yes, the agency is created and no consideration is required. Then another exception is gratuitous bailment. Bailment is delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose, with the term that the purpose is fulfilled, the goods shall be returned. So for example, delivery of clothes to washerman, delivery of watch for repair, or if A lends his car to B to use in his sister's marriage and charges no hire, it is a gratuitous bailment. Similarly, if A lends his books and his class notes to his friends and charges nothing. With this, we have come to an end of this lecture. Stay tuned for more and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.